Well, today I'm going to explain you why I don't believe that scientists can calculate the distance between Earth and the Moon just by pointing a laser beam to the Moon, because they have some reflectors there. When the Russians went to the Moon, they dropped something there, and there was one of those things that dropped there was a reflector. They call it a retro reflector or retro reflector. They shine supposedly a beam to the Moon, to that retro reflector, and it bounces back, and then they calculate the time it takes for the beam to travel from Earth to the Moon and back, and then they can calculate supposedly the distance. But I have a problem with that I don't believe they can do that. Also, I forgot to tell you that also the Americans, when they went to the Moon, landed on the Moon, the astronauts put also their retro reflectors there, several of them. And you can see here a picture of the retro reflector that they left on the Moon. You can see the LEM in the background, and in the front here you see the retro reflector where they shine the laser beam at. Here's another picture of the retro reflector. You can see there where the astronauts stepped there on the Moon, the marks of their shoes. So they left that reflector there, supposedly, because I don't believe they even went there. But that's what they did. They left those reflectors there, supposedly. And here is a picture of the. So this is the Wetzel Laser Ranging System, the satellite and lunar laser ranging system of the Geodetic Observatory in Wetzel, Bavaria. The 75 centimeter telescope in the dome is both used to send the laser pulses and to observe the reflected signal. The small radar dish besides the dome is used to monitor air traffic. The laser is automatically switched off when an aircraft approaches the target position of the laser. So this is a picture of that laser and the telescope that they point at the Moon. Supposedly they point that laser on that reflector, and as you can see here, I show here a picture of the Moon made by a telescope. All these pictures that I looked at, they all show only a whole bunch of craters, and it's going to be hard to see one of those reflectors there between those craters there, because I don't know how much distance is there from the left of the picture to the right, maybe a few hundred miles or something. So there's no way you're going to be able to see that reflector there, even with your telescope. So I don't know how they can point that laser on that reflector. Plus also you have to remember that the Moon is moving at the same time too. So they have to move their laser, they have to find that reflector, point the laser on that, and then follow the Moon. I don't know, or maybe they just go like very fast. And then here, this is the principle of how they do that. The distance to the Moon is calculated approximately using the equation distance is speed of light times duration of delay due to reflection. To compute the lunar distance precisely, many factors must be considered in addition to the round trip time of about 2.5 seconds. These factors include the location of the Moon in the sky, the relative motion of Earth and the Moon, Earth's rotation, lunar libration, polar motion, weather, speed of light in various parts of air, propagation delay through Earth's atmosphere, the location of the observing station and its motion due to crustal motion and tides and relativistic effects. The distance continually changes for a number of reasons, but averages 385,000 and 0.6 kilometers. Wow, we even can calculate up to 0.6 kilometers, or 239.228.3 miles between the center of the Earth and the center of the Moon. Or they even calculate from the center of the Earth. And that's when you're located in Germany, you can calculate it from the center of the Moon. Okay. At the Moon's surface, the beam is about 6.5 kilometers wide. So imagine you send a laser beam to the Moon, and when the beam gets there on the Moon, it's 4 miles wide. 6.5 kilometers or 4 miles wide. That's a big beam. There's not much left anymore there. And scientists liken the task of aiming the beam to using a rifle to hit a moving dime 3 kilometers or 1.9 miles away. You can't even see the dime 1.9 miles away. Anyway, the reflected light is too weak to see with the human eye. Out of 10 to the 17th, that's a 10 with 17 zeros, that's a lot of photons aimed at the reflector. And only one of them, I don't know how much that number is, 10 to the 17th, I cannot even pronounce the name of that number. It's so big, but only one of them is going to go back to Earth, even under good conditions. So if perfect condition, then one of those photons is going to come back to Earth. And they can be identified as originating from the laser because the laser is monochromatic. And there is only one monochromatic light in the whole world, and it's that one laser beam that they send out from Germany there. Come on, man. This is one of the most precise distance measurements ever made, and it's equivalent in accuracy to determining the distance between Los Angeles and New York within 0.25 millimeters or 0.01 inch, 1/100 of an inch. God, so precise. Huh? The upcoming moonlight reflector that may be placed during an attempt by the private MX-1E lander is designed to increase measurement accuracy 100 times over existing systems. MX-1E was set for launch in July 2020. However, as of February 2020, the launch of the MX-1E has been cancelled. Oh man. Well, you don't need to be cancelled because we already know what the distance is. So we don't need it anymore. But there is no way, when you see this, and there is, how can they calculate up to like 100 1/100th of an inch in precision? When you have all these things that they read there, the lunar Earth's rotation, polar motion, weather and all that stuff, and they calculate still up to a 100th of an inch. That's crazy. You must be an idiot to believe all that stuff. No way they can do that. First of all, you won't be able to find that reflector on the Moon. There's no way you can see it. You only can see craters there, and there's hundreds of kilometers wide. And let's say, and plus, I don't even believe that they even landed on the Moon. So there are no reflectors. The only one that could be there was the Russians. They landed, they put something on the Moon. They can have a reflector there, but you won't be able to see the reflector. And which way is the reflector pointing? It has to be like pointing right at your beam, because it's going to the other way, or it's going up or something. How is it going to reflect back to you? I don't get it. But supposedly this reflector, when there's a beam falls right in that reflector, it sends the beam right back the way where it came from. So, and then they have 10 to the 17th photons and only one comes back. If they're lucky, they're gonna find one that came back. No way. And then the Earth is rotating and all that stuff. And they know when they detect it that that's the one photon that we sent out of. The one of 10 to the 17th. Yeah, I remember this one. Crazy, man, crazy. They make us believe all kinds of bullshit. The world is full of lies. Cannot believe nothing anymore. Even if you say something, okay, bullshit, whatever it is. Scientists, they're all, I don't know, or they're all idiots, or they're all lying. So, well, that's my opinion. Maybe I may be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and know everything, but that's my vision. That's how I see it. I don't believe it. So everybody has their own opinion, but this is mine.